At the Auto Expo, it's the special exhibits that bring us here, but it's also some of the special people. And it's almost become a bit of a tradition now to see one particular very well-known face here at the Hyundai stand at the Auto Expo every time. And that is, of course, Hyundai brand ambassador, Shah Rukh Khan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Siddharth.
Thank you for the time. And, I have to add a little caveat to that. I know it's 20 years of Hyundai in India, but do you realize now that you're the longest running brand ambassador in the world? Certainly in the automotive space.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't rechecked on the data yet, but I'm sure once we do it, and it's quite amazing actually. More than that, just now while we were sitting and chatting with everyone from the team who I've known for years now, Mr. Ha and Mr. Koo and Srivastav Saab, the first thing I suddenly realized is I was nearly 30 years old when Santro came to India, which seems now like quite a young age, Like I think my son is 19 or 20, so another 7-8 years he'll be around there. So I start. It's been a long time.
No, and like I said, forget about the record part of it, but it's unusual that long
It
an
is
association.
unusual, yeah.
And the fact that in many ways both of you have sort of mimicked each other's growth, if I can say that.
Yeah, it's very strange that some of the things that I, in a strange way you sort of get attached to things. Like you said, the records aside, or what I've done with films, or what they've done in the automobile industry. But I remember when I was in Mumbai, to me somehow, and I've said this before, he's a great friend and I know him very well now, but the legendary Sachin Tendulkar. So I also always believe, yaar, ye century marega na, to hamara bhi acha hoga. And the other thing was, because Hyundai was such a new company, and now like it's 20 years, so every time, even now like just before I came in, I have no understanding of the business, to be honest, of automobiles. But I want to keep knowing how well we are doing, are we number one, number two, and not for the competition part of it, but somehow because you start feeling that you are attached to this thing. I mean, it's a surreal kind of an attachment, yeah, and it's if they do well, I somehow feel I'm doing well, though it may not be directly related. So, it's been more than the record, it's an association which one didn't seem. I remember I was in Mehboob studio shooting with, at that time, with the legendary Shri Devi. It was my first shot with her, and I remember Mr. Subbu came in, and one didn't know about, one had heard of Hyundai, but one didn't know its existence peripherally. It wasn't, and then he just came in and said, we're launching this car, and we said, okay, cars were just so new in India, except for Maruti. Then to talk about this, and then now here we are, the number 2 car in the country. Yeah. So that makes you feel really cool.
Yeah, and I remember that first commercial, the red Santro, the Labrador.
Yeah.
And you introduced it literally.
Yeah, we had this whole ad where Mr. Kim from Korea had come to tell me what Hyundai means and how do you say Hyundai. And I still discuss it. Some people say it Hyundai, some say it Hyundai. And so we have different pronunciations for it. And it started like that, and how he shows me what it stands for, the Labrador. And it's been a long time. Actually, it's time I sat down and went into some nostalgia mode and looked at all the old ads.
You and Juhi Chawla were Mr. and Mrs. Hyundai also in some movie. I'm trying to remember.
When the first film we produced,
that's the first one where the car was featured as well.
Yeah, and the first film that we ever produced, and they were kind enough and I don't know if anyone will remember, but there's a stunt which I'm so proud on 2 counts that the Santro does it itself. It's not a stunt car. So I've done a 180 turn in it, and I was driving it, and we tried it first time, and it worked. Yeah, with your handbrake and the turn, and we just turned. And I still remember there was a little light in front to light up Juhi, and it fell down, and it started smoking up on her dress, and we thought she'll catch fire. Nothing happened though, and she was so disturbed. Don't drive so fast and turn around, because small lights she used to have, and one of those lights fell down. That time it wasn't so advanced. So first incident with them, and then we had even hung it over on a mal shade, on a tree, and we'd sat in it, it was quite difficult.
So Mr. Subbu just wrote a book about the Santro.
I know, I just got the book.
And there's a whole lot of this reference in there. I'm reading it right now.
I just I got the book day before yesterday.
Yeah, that kind of nostalgia, like you said, and the memories. Is there something besides, of course, forget the campaigns for a second, but even the cars? I mean, you have been someone who has expressed and more than an interest in cars. You like nice cars. When it comes to coming to the Auto Expo, a lot of that comes to the fore naturally, and you've been a regular visitor here. coming to the expo is still special?
Actually, I am a seeker of knowledge and technology. And I think one of the spaces that technology is always looked up to is in the car space. So that's why my liking for cars. In terms of luxury or loving big cars and all, I'm not such a personal car geek, so to say. But I like cars because I get to know, like we just saw the Ioniq here, and they talk about being hybrid, electric, and gasoline, and that's quite cool. You know, it's a concept that you. I was just reading a few days ago that in London, to get the electric cars, under the asphalt they are going to put the charging system. So while you're driving, your car is charging. And so all that is very cool. And it normally, see, planes and all we get to know less. Cars are the first thing in technology, or maybe in today's age speakers, headphones, or this is really cool. But cars really bring technology to fore. So my interest in cars is that. And when I come here, unfortunately, I don't get a time to see the rest of the stuff. I get to see it more on your NDTV when you cover it. So I get to see all the cool cars. But they have this racing model here, which they run in, I think, Nuremberg or in Germany, they told me. That's something I'd love to go and see, or actually take out for a drive. Having said that, and I'm not saying it to plug it, but the best drive is Santro, whatever you say.
And now it's presumably making a comeback. We keep hearing little rumors.
I didn't want it to go, so I don't know. Yeah, it's like they made me. Now I'm the corporate brand ambassador, and when they call me, it's like when they give you a watch when you're retiring. So I remember they all came down and they said that Mr. Kuh and all that. Listen, we are making you now the Hyundai corporate brand ambassador. I said, yeah, and I was very happy. And he said, only no longer Santro. So to me that was very depressing because somehow, like I said, I feel Santro is related to my life, or if I may say so, I am related to Santro somehow.
Like I said, when it makes a comeback, you have to almost demand you have some ownership on that. So
absolutely,
later this year, we are told.
Like I say, it will be like sequel with all the IP owned by me.
I have to ask you, when you talked about electric cars, I've been asking, and Sachin was here yesterday, by the way, so we're talking with him about it as well. When you thought electric cars in the past, it almost always equaled boring. That's rapidly changing. Your thoughts on electric mobility? I mean, you already said you like the technology aspect of it, but the whole, all traffic going electric.
I think it's amazing. Everybody talks about the environment, and I think one of the biggest things that you can do for environment is to have electric vehicles all around. Like again, when I was reading this report, so England, the buses have been made electric, new black cabs which have been introduced, and they had these, if you may call them pumps still, but whatever, the socket pumps all around the place. And we supposedly have a drive by the government, which hopefully we can attain. By 2030, I'm made to understand that everything should be electric. I think it's very cool, and as long as electric always felt it won't go at the speed, it'll drag along. But now when you see all the high-end cars that I've been seeing, or I don't know, some of them might be just lies on YouTube, but lots of them when I see, they seem to be as cool as any other car, even speed-wise, look-wise. Of course, they are really state-of-the-art and very cool looking. And I've driven a couple of hybrid cars, and you can't tell the difference in the soundlessness. When it's electric, there's no sound, which is may irk some speed demons who would love to have the car with the muffler broken. But otherwise, I think it's a really cool concept. It should happen. On every count, it should happen.
They're now experimenting with software where the car will make this artificial sound.
Yeah, and you can make it inside. It need not make it outside. It's the guys who are inside who want to think that they're driving and getting the thrill. They should just do it inside. Why keep it outside?
The whole pollution conversation becomes very relevant considering we're in Delhi. It's been talked about in the news for a while now, and of course, even before that, the problem existed. Small things that people can do. I mean, every time we sit down together, I always get you to endorse some social message because coming from you, it has an impact. That's important. I mean, people need to start thinking individually as well and not just wait for government or institutions to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's something you can't avoid anymore. I think even giving messages about it is kind of redundant now. I think even I should be doing something. You should be doing something. You should just immediately start doing something. And like how we do it in a house. I always give example like this to my children. But sorry, I'll just digress a bit and say, I have a 4.5-year-old kid, and yesterday or day before we were walking down the house, and he started saying that there should be no smoke in the cars. So obviously in the schools they are already making the next generation quite aware of environment and pollution. I think my age at 50, I think we just missed it. We were not taught soon enough. And perhaps the time has come, you know, that instead of just giving messages and awareness, I think we should all individually take on and do small things like, you know, how in the house, old times to now, पंखा बंद कर देना कमरे से बाहर निकलते हुए, AC ऑफ कर देना, lights ऑफ कर देना. So that kind of mentality where you look after your own house, you have to spread it a little beyond your house to begin with, and then perhaps into your own city, because it is for you. You have to think of the city, or even, I mean, of course, the whole country. But I think if we start small and start thinking, मोहल्ला जो है घर है हमारा, and then मोहल्ले से थोड़ा सा उसको बढ़कर city जो है हमारा घर है. I think that attitude needs to come in, and you know, we can all give advice and we can all give solutions also. ऐसा करने से ऐसा होगा. But I think everybody knows the solution. It's exactly what you do at home. If we can just spread it out to the city and think that's our own house.
But do you think, I mean, I know now you'd say I'm being cynical, but the fear is that now nobody seems to want to listen to any kind of advice. I mean, we've become this crazy intolerant society. Can such things still work, where you try and tell people the right thing and they'll actually do it? I mean, you know, you've been seeing what's been happening. Everything is always controversial. There's always some kind of
I think people like good things. If I tell someone कि अपने बालों में आमला केशते लगाओ तो बाल अच्छे हो जाएंगे.
Tell people.
If I tell them,
not amla, I don't know, something else.
Yeah, I mean, if I was सुबह उठ के एलोवेरा का प्लांट मुंह पे लगा लो, स्किन अच्छी हो जाएगी. If you give a good advice, everybody gives it a shot. So I don't think there's cynicism or anger or disturbance. It's just that I think there's a lot of talk, a lot of conversations. Everybody speaks a lot. So I think the best way to communicate in today's world is to keep silent and say things like आराम से करो, अच्छा करो, खुश रहो, आबाद रहो, and I think people will listen to you. I think it's how you say it. I think the younger generation doesn't like, and I'm an expert at that because I've got 3 different shapes and sizes at home. I think the younger generation doesn't want anything to be shoved down their throats. I think they should be just made aware. You know, you can't spoon feed them, can't force them, can't bore them with messages. I think every message and fantasy you sell now has to be a little entertaining. So if you keep that in mind, which comes with my job naturally, I think people will listen to you.
Now, as a father of kids who are that much more plugged in and aware, how do you prepare them for all of this craziness in society today, the intolerance, and your industry is somehow the target for most of it in any case, as Mr. Bhansali's film has just proved.
My kids are not in my industry, so they don't need to be told anything about my industry. They're studying, and I think
not from your industry's point of view, from society's point of view.
I actually am learning from my children here. I think as a father, I believe not today only, even yesterday, my father brought me up in a way that he should listen to me. I'll bring in the new ideas, I'll bring in the new thoughts, I'll bring in the new kind of love. And so I sit down and just listen to my daughter. If I miss it, I do FaceTime thrice a week. My son doesn't pick up my FaceTime. My little one is always with me. So I think that how we should look at society today is, I think the people who are older, they should listen to the youngsters. So I don't have any advice to give to anyone. I just want to listen. I've reached a stage and age maybe where I like to listen to people and younger people, because I think they have an amazingly, how do I say it, wider vision of looking at the world than I have. So I think the concept of wanting to give advice and say the world is, of course the world is changing. For you and I, we may even see it with the cynicism and have issues with the world. But it's exactly like when your father told you something, you're always a little iffy about it. Okay, yeah, it doesn't happen. And you thought that he was cynical, and you thought he was angry, and you thought he was disturbing. Maybe we are the ones who are cynical and disturbing, not the society. So we should listen to every youngsters. I believe in listening to the youngsters. I think they're cooler and gentler to hear.
Now, I'll be short if I don't ask you one last question about your upcoming movie. A lot of it has already been talked about when you released the first trailer. what part of that has excited you the most? Is it the technology again, because there is a lot we can see obviously with your character itself, or is it down to the basics, the story and the drama?
You know, Siddharth, I've never made claims like, I find it quite amazing that after 30 years of work, I can't make claim to, I love the story. I love the people who are making a film. It's always been, whether it was Aziz Mirza, Kundan Shah, and to my Imtiaz Ali and whoever I work with, Karan, Adi of course, but even the ones who people don't know are my friends. I love the people I'm working with. That's always been the case. I hear actors, अभी ये concept है, अभी ये वाली picture है, अभी तो ये चल रहा है भाई, sports picture कर लो, biopic कर लो. I like the people. So if the people who I'm loving, if they are making a biopic, I'll do a biopic. If they're doing so, my choices are like that, unfortunately, because I'd like to believe.
Interesting choices. I mean, you did an android robot. You played.
Yeah, I've played a Ravan. I've done a fan. I've done an amazing over-the-top comedy like Chennai Express, and it's very interesting. You do a race in the middle. You do a Dear Zindagi. So the people I love, all these people that I mentioned. So to me, to make a claim that this film I'm doing because Kamal ki story hai. I don't know. I think
that you're playing a dwarf. That's not the.
That's incidental.
Factor.
That's incidental. It's exactly like in a car. At the end of it all, the car should drive you to the place. That's what the story is. The technology, the trappings, the sidebars, and what have you, the cars, the things that you have, they are just going to enhance the experience. So I think technology and all will enhance the experience of an amazing drive. So I think Zero is a great drive. The people in it, Anand, Himanshu, the whole team, there's about 150, 200 people working on this film. And yes, this time I will harp on about the technology because I missed out with Fan. I'm really sorry that I could not talk about Fan's technology before the film released. Because a lot of people, with due respect to experts, don't even realize what visual effects is. And I'm not being superior here. But it was just very unfortunate that, oh my God, I should have talked about this as visual effect. And I think it's my job, it's my duty as an actor who's been working for 25 years to kind of bring this education of technology. Otherwise, we'll be left far behind. So I'll talk about the technology, and that's why I harp on about Zero. But having said that, I think the people who are making this film is, and Katrina and Anushka, it's how do I say? It's a very, very... like people, I tell people, the day before yesterday I was sitting with someone giving them a lecture, which I started giving too much, off camera. That they're different.
You give on camera also. It might be a new thing for us.
Yeah, I should start in lectures. They are becoming more popular than my films. I was talking about different genres. Yeah. There's an action, and there's a drama, and there is a comedy. These are the ones we know, historical. But actually, but there is a genre which is reality. And reality does not mean we have to show real. We have to entertain you with reality. It's a genre. A lot of people mistake it and make it very boring and dreary. I think Anand Rai takes reality and presents it with entertainment. So to me, that is the most exciting part. That's the exciting part, that the film is about celebrating incompleteness. And saying, for a change, that it is special. All these people are specially challenged. Perhaps there is an element of disability or special ability, but nobody is going to be remorseful, sad and depressed about it in this movie. Yeah, it's because you are also incomplete in your own way. I am also incomplete. So all the characters and so nobody points out. I got a scathing letter from somebody who said, "How dare you not take an expert advice from a vertically challenged person working in so-and-so circus?" And I said, why do you assume a vertically challenged person will only work in a circus? And my guy doesn't. And nobody in the film even looks at him with a look that, he's vertically challenged or special. So I think to be able to celebrate the victory for Anand will be, and to me, you come and watch the film, and then you go back and say, Shah Rukh was vertically... वो भी interesting था.
That's incidental.
That should be incidental, and hopefully again I will lose out on the visual effects awards for Zero like we did for Fan, which is an issue with me. I mean, come on. It's one of the most advanced things that you do, but I've told my team already that do not make the film so that nobody believes that I could be otherwise. And the lovely part of it is, here is an person who stands for romance and spreading out arms and being romantic and beautiful, etc., for last 25 years, and you take all that away from him and still make him the most lovable. I think that's exciting.
That is exciting, and can't wait to see it, of course.
Yeah, I hope you like. I think you like it. It's.
You know, I watch every one of your movies.
Yeah, but this one, you and your wife will like it.
Yeah, thanks to her, I watch all your movies. More than thanks to
You look so sad saying thanks to her I watch all the films. I'm really sorry. मैं दूसरा हीरो की तो पिक्चर देख ले. मैं तेरी बीवी को बोल दूंगा दूसरों की देखने दे दे. टॉम क्रूज की भी देखने देगी.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very
And
much.
I want you to just advise to people that they should not be chucking trash out of their cars. And if I could also ask you to tell our car and bike community to wear their seatbelts.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, this is a drive, though it has been launched and is going to be a regular feature in Hyundai from March 2018. I've been explained. This will be a fixture in every car of Hyundai, which is called the Swatch Can. This is for small little pieces of gum wrappers and candy wrappers and small pieces of paper that somehow, invariably, I don't know why we get attracted to just lowering a window and throwing it and looking where it goes and hoping that it doesn't spoil the last guy who's driving behind you. So please stop doing it. Whatever little trash you have, put it in this. I think it can even hold a little bit of liquid in case you have some left, water, whatever, and just keep it in your cars. And this may have been started by Hyundai, but I think everybody should have something like this. If it's not this container specifically, the Swatch Can, please get your own and keep it as a simple thing to do. And the other two regulars, which I say it now in the capacity of a father and in capacity of someone who loves driving himself whenever I get the opportunity and there's no traffic, please do wear seat belts. I think it's really cool and macho to wear seat belts. It takes a little while, but it feels very nice. I have a 5-year-old kid and I'm 50 myself. And we all take great pride in wearing seat belts because it's just very cool and nice. So please wear seat belts, even in the back seats if you can. If you have kids with you, please use it. And it takes a moment. It's just nicer. It's also legal. And to all the two-wheeler drivers, I keep seeing videos on television channels, NDTV, when the news is being covered in towns and cities that lots of boys and girls are not wearing helmets. Please wear helmets even if it's not. Even if you feel this is going 10 feet away, 20 feet away. I've been in situations where having worn a helmet, even while shooting for a little stunt, has been extremely helpful and life-saving. So please do wear your helmets. And now they have such, I know hair gets spoiled and it troubles you and sometimes it's hot, but I think it's life is worth much more than a little bit of discrepancy and discomfort. So please do wear helmets while driving two-wheelers.